and we all appreciate how passionately you've championed this cause and been a true warrior for the survivors of human trafficking and for vulnerable populations across the country. Just last week, I was with your co-chair of the Missing and Murdered Cold Case Task Force for missing and murdered Native American and Alaska natives as we opened the first of 7 offices in Minnesota. Today, the second of these 7 is being opened in Grand Rapids, South Dakota. So thank you for your work and advocacy on behalf of those individuals as well. The president stated very early in the administration, it was only weeks after he had come to the White House, that he would put the full force and weight of this government behind ending human trafficking, arguably the gravest of human rights violations. Since then, the president has signed 9 pieces of legislation into law to do exactly that. Funds have also been allocated and really show that this government is prioritizing and putting funds where it matters in the hands of those on the front lines. So just in this past year, in addition to the grants that we'll be talking about today, $70 million was added for enhanced prosecutions and $123 million for supporting the state and local governments as they further this work. All of this was over and above what Congress had appropriated in the year prior. DOJ housing assistance grants are absolutely critical, and the Attorney General outlined some of the ways in which these grants will be used by the great organizations that convened around this table, in addition to 73 from numerous states across the country, a total of $35 million in grants, and that really being just the beginning. But 6 to 24 months of housing support, including rent, utilities, critically counseling services, vocational education, and job training services, so many of the wraparound support items necessary to ensure that victims, survivors can take their place back in society and resume their lives in the most supportive fashion possible. The human trafficking hotline has articulated the fact that housing assistance is the #1 need, the #1 service requested in all of these human trafficking related crisis cases. So this is targeting a specific need that has been highlighted for the Department of Justice. I think COVID made the need all the more urgent. In many cases, victims find themselves sheltering in place with their traffickers without another option. So like with so many other things, COVID has really underscored urgency and made safe, secure, stable housing for these victims more relevant and important than ever. Today, it's a celebration of the great work everyone around this table has been doing to help the voiceless, to support those who have endured tremendous hardship, and to hear from survivors who help put a face to the opportunity to emerge from this terrible circumstance and move forward and move forward with their lives. So before we turn it over to the incredible grantees, many of which I've had the great fortune of either visiting in person or one of the examples being Wellspring Living in Atlanta, Georgia. I had the great opportunity to go there and see the great work that they're doing. But before we hear from the grantees, I'd like to turn it over to the acting director of our Domestic Policy Council, Rollins, to say hello. Thank you again.
Ivanka Trump.